On Friday, President Trump signed a short-term spending bill to reopen the government, ending the longest partial federal government shutdown in U.S. history. The signing came after the measure passed the Senate and House, and now many across the nation and in Texas are asking what happens next. Tonight, we have U.S. Representative Doggett here to help break this down. Thanks for joining us tonight.
So good to be with you.
Well, Congressman Doggett, it's been a couple of days since Trump's announcement. How has the atmosphere been this weekend?
Well, it's hopeful. I think it's hopeful for these families, hundreds of thousands of families, and all of us they serve, but the hundreds of thousands who went without 2 paychecks. And I hope that within the next, certainly the next week, but in the next few days, that all of these folks can get the paychecks that they've earned.
That was my next question, back pay. When will the federal workers actually receive their money, and when will the process begin? Is that tomorrow, probably?
The process begins immediately, and the President's Chief of Staff has promised that all these checks would be out by the end of the week, hopefully some as early as Tuesday or Wednesday.
And to be clear, Congressman Doggett, is the deal only keeping the government open for 3 weeks? What are the circumstances surrounding that?
Yes, that's right. We don't want another Valentine's Day surprise or disappointment to see the government shut down again. Indeed, I'd like to see some bipartisan legislation that's been offered, adopted, to prevent these shutdowns from ever occurring again, no matter which side is responsible for them. But the immediate concern is to get some negotiations underway to solve some of these problems and not have a shutdown on the 15th of February, or have the President make some declaration of national emergency, which I think would be really a fake declaration.
Since Friday afternoon, has there been an influx of calls, would you say, in your office at least? Most
of the calls were before that time, because there were so many people desperate with the bills that were being paid, that they had to pay, with the potential of eviction or removal from their home. And so we did hear from many of them then. Now, any of the calls we've received have just been happy it's happening, though a little concerned whether this is more than a 3-week reprieve.
And last question, what do you think families can do in the meantime, and what advice do you have for them?
Well, first is to say thanks, and that some of us have been up there all the time trying to work on their side, recognizing that while one of the President's cabinet members may be surprised they'd have to turn to a food bank and suggest they get a bank loan, that those of us who are out in the real world realize the challenges that they face. And recognizing those challenges, have to say to them, there is no guarantee after 3 weeks that the next paycheck will come. They need to try to do their best to plan as accordingly, and I'll be trying to do my best to see that we don't face another cliff come February the 15th.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us, Congressman Doggett.